Jack, do you feel that Nature Boy, they gave him like a life plus something? I don't know if he had multiple life sentences, but
I
do you?
think he has the right sentence.
Okay.
I just hate the fact that they put a bunch of bullshit on him to get him in the system. Get him for the shit that he actually did. But see, maybe part of the reason why that didn't happen is because the government would have to take responsibility for all of the shit that they knew he was doing that they let fucking happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like with Diddy. It's wild. All of the shit that
Yeah.
everybody knows about Diddy. And Nature Boy got that sentence. And Diddy got the man act. Two counts.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, damn.
Well, know what's funny? I'm still trying to figure out why nobody is in uproar at all about the fact that it was reported. You guys reported on it. All of the firearms that had serial numbers scratched off that were confiscated. But they just forgot about those. The whole world just forgot about those. We sat there and watched it on the news as they deployed on three specific residences that were all under his possession and under his control. It was stated that they found what? It was the feds that said that the baby oil had the G to the B to the G to the H to the B in it.
Yeah.
And
That
then you
wasn't brought
have
up.
content creators sitting around, more oil, more oil.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that happened. And then you also had the
Looking
lawsuits.
like baby dinosaurs coming fresh out the womb. I'm just trying to understand.
You know, the
We
Diddy trial is gonna have to
saw,
get dissected.
we saw the footage, that Curtis Jackson was. I mean, did he really get it, or was it just the footage that the network got, that Netflix got?
Oh
They
yeah.
still
Yeah.
not even talking. They still not even talking about that guy who was doing the filming that Diddy hired and the whoop de whoop de whoop. Mark Agnifilo isn't even being mentioned after the way he was exposed for misconduct in that documentary. No, he just went on to helping his wife represent Luigi Maggione, and people are acting like, we didn't see any of that. Like we didn't literally hear him telling the boys how to fix cases. We gonna act like none of that happened. That's what we doing? two
No.
years. And
Yeah.
nobody
Even.
believes that. The feds, firearms with serial numbers filed off. And no charges? No, no, nothing. So since when do the feds, do you know that the feds in Pennsylvania were working with the local cops and telling them if you catch a GUN case, don't bother prosecuting it. Send it to us because we can do the max. That's how they were getting little black boys in Philadelphia 10 years ago. Every GUN case went straight federal. They were doing the same for a little while too in New York. Diddy was tried in New York. Oh, why wasn't he? Why didn't he catch a charge for any of those GUNs? Because the truth is, if he had been charged with GUNs, they were found in his possession. He was guilty. He would have been guilty. That would have been at least 10 to 15 years. All depending on the amount and how much ammo was in it, because the ammo also kicks it up a notch.
Yeah.
He could have got 20 years just for the GUNs. Why wasn't he charged?
Maybe they're trying to go for the RICO, and you gotta have players involved. They had no players.
Yeah, yeah. There's plenty of players. Like Carisha said in her interview with Charlemagne, she wasn't worried about having to testify. She sat down and talked to the feds, and she wasn't worried about having to testify because 9 times out of 10, they told her, you keep your mouth shut and we won't bother you. You say anything. I don't think people are really looking at the reality. But right now, with the Epstein files and the whole debacle and the fallout of the cover up that they're trying to do in real time in everybody's face, I think people need to start paying attention. I think people need to stop being in their feelings and look a little closer. Forget the doped up baby oil. They actually found that nigga with Tipsy on him. They arrested the mule, the little white boy. They found Carisha with the happy pink pixie dust, and you telling me nobody caught a DURGS case? Nobody?
No one.
How? How do the feds catch people with this kind of serious stuff on them? Schedule one. Nobody does time. And Diddy didn't get charged for it? None of it. Between the firearms and the pharmaceuticals, he could have got 40 years. He could have done it concurrently and still would have had to do minimum 20. Didn't charge him with it. Why not? I truly do believe the original prosecutor, Damian Williams, would have loved to have prosecuted that case to the fullest extent of the law with everything. But instead, they put in Maureen Comey, whose father has a questionable background. Very questionable.
Boy, they're gonna dissect this case. Diddy's coming home, so he'll be able to speak on all this if he
Coming
chooses to.
home. Coming home. Okay. Coming home when?
Yeah, I give him a couple of summers. He's home. I mean,
I mean, that's fine. He can come home. I mean, it's just the thing is there's all these other things that he hasn't been prosecuted for where the statute of limitations is gonna be at least a decade. I mean, they can still charge him. Why is nobody demanding that he be charged?
right? What is it about just the lawsuits? Because the Little Rod situation, I'm like, there's a bunch of you talking about shootings and with your son, and you're literally admitting to crimes, and now we're just talking about lawsuits. Like, what?
Well,
Where's the
whatever happened to the Little Rod lawsuit?
right? Right.
Because Tyrone Blackburn is now giving up all of his cases, and I don't think anybody else wants to take Little Rod's case. You haven't noticed all of his very serious cases where there was real evidence against him? All of the lawyers turned out to be inept in some way, and now all those cases are just being dropped. Whatever happened to Anna Kane's case? It went into discovery last fall, and it's still there. Anna Kane, the little white girl who was married to Vander Kane, the abusive, alleged abusive NHL player, the one who Diddy had allegedly brought. She was living in Canada, made it to Detroit. She was put in a plane as she testified to New Jersey and then driven into New York, taken to Daddy's house, which was his place of business, the recording studio. And then she said Diddy and two other gentlemen, one of them was Caucasian, ran a train on her, and she was underage. The one in the D&G shirt, she had the picture of her at Daddy's house sitting on Diddy's lap. She was inebriated and intoxicated and a minor.
Yeah, this is what happened in these situations.
Why didn't she testify at the trial? She's being represented by, she has the same lawyers, or at least the same law firm as Cassie. Why didn't she testify? Because see, if she had testified, and any of her testimony could have been corroborated in any way, that would have made him guilty of the SCX transporting charge. Interesting. No, instead, Lionel B paraded some wacky little girl from Dallas who lives out there by Garland, Lamisha Fuller, brought her online with Adria English to say that she, a very African American girl, was the white girl in the D&G shirt, and did a bunch of interviews with millions of views attached to it. Even tried to include me in it. Trying to get me to validate her own ways, trying to say that I was her driver. Talking about I had a bunch of envelopes and I was giving all of the girls envelopes with money because I worked for Diddy and whoopty whoopty woo and yada yada yada. And then the next thing you know, I end up in a Diddy lawsuit as a Diddy employee. The Ashley Parham case, which by the way got dismissed last December. Oh yeah, who was the lawyer for that? Yeah, Ariel Mitchell, the same one who's been doing Diddy shakedown cases, who is about to get her license back because she just got suspended in Florida by the Florida bar for bribing a witness in a case, in a shakedown case against Trey Songz that happened at Diddy's place on Star Island. She's a screw up. Put me in that lawsuit.
That was wild to see your name there.
And
Uh,
guess what? It was all made up. Why is nobody holding any of these people accountable? Why is it that all of the suits that got the most noise out front dissipated and turned into a bunch of malarkey and bullshit? But the very real cases and the real victims, their cases have been quieted and no one knows what's happening to them. And all of the things in the very real cases would have gotten him convicted of that RICO, would have gotten him convicted of the S transporting charges. It would have gotten him convicted on all four things. And none of that evidence, none of it made it to his trial. Does it not sound like somebody was trying to make sure he got off? Does it not sound that way?
I mean, come on.
Or maybe it's just time for us to stop avoiding the elephant in the room and call it like it is.
Real life.